What up, YouTube? I'm back. I wanted to share this part of it because it's the second part, and I didn't want to. I'm not able to make like really long videos anymore for some reason. I just need to break down and get a camera. But needless to say, I wanted to show you this stuff, and I'm gonna make another video out of this of the finished product. I was gonna put it at the end of it, but it just makes it harder to make a long video. And in order for me to do that, it makes me, I have to go in there and delete a bunch of stuff, so I can't really do that right now. But needless to say, I wanted to give you guys a good idea of what this stuff looks like with the second coat on it. And I think it turned out really good. And I'm still having a problem with my spray tip. If you notice, I keep sticking it like either in the ground or in the corner somewhere. It's because it keeps pumping out paint. Every time I let off the trigger, it just keeps putting like a stream down. But I ended up putting a new gun on it since then. And I still got to rebuild my old one. But the thing is, like, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you guys hit that, leave a comment, even if you want to just say hi, because it shows YouTube that you're interacting with it. And I'll get into it. And right now, what I'm doing is I'm putting just enough paint on there to roll it out. And you want to make sure that you put a decent amount of paint on it, because whoever painted this originally put just one thin coat on it, just enough to get it covered, because they had a real bad peeling problem. And I think it's set for about maybe 5 years, and over that 5 years, the stuff that was already peeling that they locked down with the black started flaking even worse. So like once you scraped one spot, it just turned into like this big old hole. And it's one thing that you don't want to do is when you start scraping something like this, is you don't want to keep scraping it unless you have to, because the more protection that you got on your brick, the better. The thinner it is, or the more coarse your brick is, the more it holds water. So the smoother that the surface can be, the better. And it's just one of those things, like, it's good to have 4 or 5 coats of paint on your brick on the exterior. It actually does help the longevity of it. But he put this door in, and it needed painted, I think, 3 years ago. But I ended up having to do a bunch of work to it to get it cleaned up. I had to sand it and stuff like that, and then shoot it. And like I said, if you wait till the next video, the finished product, because I think it's going to be called spraying and back rolling brick foundation, the finished product, maybe, I don't know. It sounds about right, but that's what I'm going to put it under, so you guys can see what this looks like finished. Or you can just hit that subscribe button and it'll notify you when it's coming out. And he actually turned his basement into a lived area. Like he framed it up and put drywall down there, and I think we're in the middle of putting hanging drywall and finishing the drywall, and then we're gonna be in there painting that. So I know at some point I might be in there doing that. I'm not really sure how far that project's along right now or not, but I know at some point I was supposed to go inside and start working on that. So once I get done on this exterior, I'll be able to go inside. In the meanwhile, I got this other video I'm getting ready to start making. It's about this front entryway of an exterior. It's like the whole inside part of it. I go through there and caulk it all. Well, I scrape it, caulk it, and get it ready. And then I put 2 coats of paint on it. So I kind of give you the rundown on how to do stuff like that through that video too. So if you want to stay tuned for that, like I said, just make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, because it does matter. And this spot that I'm working on right now is the old section, and if you notice, the brick is like 2 different, it looks like 2 different things right there. It's because the brick on the right side is rough and the brick on the left side is really smooth, and that's exactly what it is. I end up coming back through there after the fact and put another coat on it to try to get it to tone it down a little bit so it wasn't so rough looking. And like if you ever walked up to a freshly painted brick, you don't want it to have any holes in it, because if you do see holes in your brick after you paint it, then it's just areas for water to seep into, and it's just going to start a peeling problem later down the road. So you want to make sure that you get a good coat on it to where you cover it up enough to where it does fill in all the holes through the brick. That's why a lot of times we use like 1-inch naps on this stuff, because we want to put the paint on it, because it really does matter. Like you should be able to use the paint when it comes to doing brick or block foundations, because a block foundation will use about an extra gallon of paint. If you want to put it on, you can. It's actually a good thing, especially fresh painted block. The better coverage that you got on that block, the longer it's gonna last, the more it's gonna bite, and you're gonna be able to go 10 years instead of 5 years, because it's exactly what it is. The better coverage on it, it does matter. Now, when you start getting water damage, like say 5 years from now, you start seeing bubbles in it, cut them bubbles off and paint just that block. Do whatever you got to get that bubbles out there as soon as possible, because that's what happened to me the first time I went through here and painted it. I went through this back part, and when I painted it, it bubbled everywhere. And I was like, oh gosh. So I had to go through and cut them out, sand and like knock off the loose stuff, because it was like a white powder underneath of it. And once I knocked that off, I got down to like a good solid surface again. Then I was able to paint it. And it's one of those things, even though you knock them bubbles off and you got you got it down to the strong surface, you want to put 2 or 3 coats of paint on it before you put your last coat of paint on it. Just remember to paint them a couple times before you put your last coat, because you don't want to paint it, then put 2 or 3 coats on something that you already painted. Paint it a couple times and then paint your last coat. It does matter. And same thing with the fuse box. I tried to talk him into let me paint the fuse box, but he didn't want to do it because it was so new. And me personally, I think if he would have just painted it, it would have went away. That's the only reason why it's taped off right now, is because he wanted to keep it the way the color that it is, which is his preference. But everything below that I actually shot, so it blends in with the brick. And that's the whole reason why we paint things as we're doing things, is we paint it with the color that we're using so it hides it. Just like any gas lines, water lines, or anything like that, we like to paint that stuff with that stuff if we don't want to see it. And so if you want to see it, we'll tape it off, and it'll look nice and shiny when you pull the tape paper off. But if you want to hide it so it doesn't look, so it don't stand out and look funny, then we usually paint it, and it'll blend right in with the rest of the paint. Take painting light socket cover. Sometimes if you want your white covers to disappear, you paint with wall and you won't see it anymore. You just gotta know where they are. And just another reminder for new tips and new content like this, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. It does matter. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you guys leave a comment, even if you just say hi. I really would appreciate it. And like I said, it really is important. And even if it ain't my channel, like anybody that's coming up in this content creation thing, it takes, I think, 3 to 5 years just for our channel to be noticed. And then from there on, it gets a little bit easier, but yeah, it's a long game for sure. So if you guys can hit that subscribe button, it's totally free, doesn't cost a thing, and it helps tremendously. Like I got, I think, a little over 700 of them. So, and I still hit the subscribe button on people. I think I gotta be close to like 750 subscribers. But I'm getting on a tangent. But the thing about this painting these tubes underneath there is sometimes they take 3 coats. So be prepared to at least put 1 good coat on it your first time, and then when you do it your second time, spray a nice coat on it the second time, because it'll cover better. Just in case, if you don't want to put 3 coats on it, make sure that you prep it the first time. Get all the areas. That's the biggest thing, is you want to make sure that you get all the nooks and crannies now. And then when you do your second coat, you don't have to work as hard. You can just go right up to it, right up to things, and you know what I mean. Like, you don't have to work as hard. If you put a good first coat on it, you always have less time in doing your second coat. And I work kind of fast, so that's why I do like a 6x6 area, and then I roll it out. Like, I'll spray a 6x6 area, then I'll roll that out, and then I'll do my back roll, which is all down, and I'll move over, do the same thing, and I try to do everything in that same step all the way down to that. Like, I do that same step all the way down to there. I don't try to change it up, because if you notice, when I get about halfway down to this wall, you'll see where I rolled it, and then I sprayed it, and then it's not done yet, and you'll see all three of those textures. And if you see the middle texture, that's what it looks like if we just sprayed it. And then when I go over top of it with the roller, it'll show you what it looks like after I put the roller texture in it. And the roller texture will tone it down, but it also gives it that more of a build to where when you spray it, it just lays on top. That's why when we spray trim, it puts it down smoothly. Now, if you start using a weenie on it, it's going to give it that rough roller texture. And you can always tell somebody's house has been sprayed. Like, if you spray the trim in someone's house, you can always tell. Just walk out and look at the doors. If the doors are rough, it's because they weenie rolled them. And you can fix it if you want. Like, if you want that spray look again, like, you can have somebody come and sand it down and spray it and get that nice smooth look again. But don't ever let somebody roll your doors. If someone's like, "Oh, you can weenie roll the doors, or you can use an iron on your doors," don't tell them you just got another painter. Tell them you found another painter, you don't need them. If you don't want smooth doors, there's no other way of doing it but brushing it. Like, texture matters, and depending on what you put that texture on matters. Doors always should be sprayed. That's why you notice when I sprayed this door, I didn't back roll it. I just sprayed it. I left that tone of that spray down. I didn't touch it with the weenie cover. You're not supposed to weenie roll or 9-inch a door at all. It just looks like it looks like carpet. I mean, there's always, like, a roller texture is so much rougher and so much coarser than spraying something. But some things need to be back rolled like brick. I recommend spraying and back rolling brick and walls and ceilings. I don't recommend spraying and back rolling trim. I don't recommend spraying and back rolling doors. I recommend spraying doors. There's a big difference. And that's the difference in your trim looking like a piece of glass versus your carpet. Textures matter. And that's the difference between a professional painter and somebody that's just going to paint your stuff. Yeah, I can just walk up and paint your stuff. Like, yeah, you can pay me $100 and I'll paint your door. But I'm going to do it the fastest way possible. And that's going to be with the weenie cover. And it's not going to turn out nice. Now, I can brush your door and give you a nice finish that way, because it doesn't look as rough as rolling it. But it does matter. And a lot of people don't talk about, like, a lot of painters don't talk about this, but there is a big difference in spraying, brushing, and rolling. Brushing and rolling last longer. Spraying don't last as long. But spraying looks smoother. Brushing and rolling have, like, if you just brush the door, like, that's what I usually do, is just brush the whole door, and you're going to have the lines from the brush. Now, if I rolled it, it's going to have a rough roller texture. It's not going to be rough, but it's going to have a texture of a roller cover. Anything outside of spraying it, it's going to look rougher. And a lot of people don't break the differences down. Now, I got videos on here that I'm actually brushing doors, and I do it board for board. If the boards are horizontal or straight up and down, I do the boards the way the boards are going. I do one board at a time. I do it that way for a reason. That way, when the door's done, it looks like a door. Like, it's got the shape of the door and everything. Like, it looks professional. There's a reason why I do that. And it's because I don't want it to look rough. It's presentable. But if you got a door that's older and it's been painted a few times, that's what you do to those. If you don't have time to tape off the whole area to spray it to protect everything around it, then yes, you you brush your door. That's why I was saying it's such a big deal to know the difference between somebody coming in your house and telling you, "Oh, we can roll all your doors, or we can roll that with a 9." Like, no, that don't work. You roll a wall with a 9. That's a big open area. It's smooth. It lays it down fast. That's how we paint big surfaces fast. Your door's not a big surface. But that's also the difference between somebody's done it a lot and somebody that hasn't. Like, I didn't know the difference between painting a door the right way and painting a door the wrong way until 20 years ago when I started with my new boss that taught me how to paint a door right. And he said, yes, there is a reason for it. And he broke it down to me. Texture. That's when he taught me about textures. And I learned over the next 20 years how to perfect that. So it's one of those things I was constantly learning, but it's also nice to know, like, this is the right way of doing it. And a lot of homeowners don't want someone that don't know what they're doing in their house. A lot of homeowners don't want somebody that don't know what they're doing in their house. If I told you I just started, you don't want me painting your house, and that's smart. But if I told you I've been doing it for a long time, then that's understanding. But make sure you guys hit that subscribe button.